Right, hi guys, it's Bob from Greybeard Models. Welcome back to my channel, and as you probably know, we're going to be doing this commercial vehicle body build, and one of the vehicles that I was going to do was a Pyro vintage brass kit. Let me just grab it, it's on the shelf over here. Which was this one, which was quite a neat kit. The only problem with it is there's parts missing. I didn't realise that when I bought it. I can't remember where I bought it. I think it might have been a boot fair or show or something. Can't remember. Anyway, I've gone through it. It's got a couple of parts missing, but I think I can scratch build those. So we'll get over to the bench and we'll have a look at what's missing and how I propose to solve the problem. Let's have a look. So it was only after I'd done the last video where I put this in the list that I had a real good look at the kit, and unfortunately there's two parts there that I've assembled, which is basically the chassis rails and the bottom of the body. But on closer inspection I noticed there was potentially a part missing off the sprue there, and there's a part missing off the sprue there. Don't worry about this bit, this is where I got these parts from. So there was a part missing off of there, which was weird. I hadn't noticed that before. So let's move that out of the way. Getting into the instructions, and down here is two parts there, or maybe three. Couldn't really work it out, but I think there's three parts missing there. It looks like someone's robbed out the rear end. So the spring there, or what's supposed to be the spring, the rear diff and rear axle and the framework there, that's all missing. So it almost looks like you can't build it, but there is a number of ways of getting around the problem, and what I'll do is I'll clear these bits away. I'll leave this here, and I'll show you what I intend to do. So one of the things that I wanted to do was look at how I was going to construct that rear differential, the rear axle, and the other parts that are there in the drawing. So to do that, first thing I decided to do was stick the chassis rails and the bottom of the body together, mainly so that it was all sort of making sure it was all square, and also to give me an indication here of what the clearances would be for like the rear axle and that sort of thing. It just so happens that in my stash I have an Airfix Model T 1912. This is supposed to be 1915. So I had a look in here, and in amongst all these parts there's some loose bits that were in there, but digging around in here, here's in there, I found it. Where is it? Here we go. Right, so in here there's, first and foremost, there's the rear drive and the two bracing parts there, which is that's one part, and then the other parts, if I can find them again, they were here, was the rear axle, which is, there it is. It's so much different from the Pyro kit. So there's the rear axle there with the differential, and it's actually got a sort of leaf spring assembly, whereas the Pyro kit didn't. Now they're both 1/32 scale, so rather than sort of take the part away from this kit, what I'm going to do is I can construct this out, this part here out of out of rod, and I can make this up out of rod and disc and everything else. I can fabricate this, so that's what I intend to do. So I'll clear all the bench and we'll get on with doing some of the preliminary assembly work, so that we can and sort of work out the dimensions and such, so that we can put this all together. So as I promised, look, that's the sun through the side window. Very bright morning this morning. Right, so as I said, what I've gone and done is scratch built the rear end, and I've done that by using some well, that's basically part of a bomb that I had in my scrap box, and then there's the evergreen tubing and an evergreen rod that goes through the middle of the whole lot. And then I've made, I don't know if see my camera won't, I'd love to get my camera right up close like that and get some sort of focus on it. Hold on, let me try and reset my camera and see what we can do. I do recall somebody saying to me that the problem that I probably had is that the camera was trying to pick up the green, you know, the green cutting mat and the squares. Right, so there we have it. So it's a piece of an old bomb which I've cut. There's a length of, as I say, evergreen tubing with an evergreen rod through the middle, and then I've cut a couple of discs here and here, just to give me a fixed point where I can fit the wheels. And then underneath that, as you can see there, I've just made a replica of a sort of leaf spring suspension at the back. So putting all that together, I've put the sump of the engine there, and then now I've also added the front axle and that sort of part. And the reason that I did that was because I wanted to get the alignment of the wheel centres fairly equal, which I think I've got pretty much. If I just take a ruler, sorry, when I was an apprentice, my apprentice engineer teacher said to me, or trainer, said to me, it's not a ruler, it's a rule. A ruler is no like the king. So that has got pretty close to being in the right place, I think. Maybe a little bit high at the front end, a little bit, but I think it's okay. So that's where we got with that. So we'll put all that together. The next bit is to assemble the engine and get all that fitted. So I'll get on and do that, and then I'll come back to you. Right, so anyway, I painted the underside. Well, in fact, I painted all of it. Give it a coat of black primer, and then one of the reasons why I did that was so that I could do these additional parts that I said I would make. So we've now got the differential in place. We've now got the drive from the transmission to the differential, and the two supporting struts across the chassis. So they're made out of strips of evergreen material. I think the flat is the supporting struts are made from, I think it was a 0.75 by 1.5 millimeter plastic strip, and the rod there I think is a 2.5 millimeter diameter plastic rod, and they're in place, and I'll give them a coat of paint, and then where it goes into the engine transmission there, once we put the engine on top, that'll seal all that off. So that's how I've replaced those parts. The other thing, while I was doing this and while I was messing around with it and checking the parts and stuff, I also noticed that there is some more parts missing, and they are these pieces over here, which actually make up the hinges for the rear doors. But that's not a difficult fix anyway. We can make the hinge parts, the little brackets that sort of hold the hinge onto the inside wall of the body. That's easy to make, and when we get to that stage I'll show you how I make that. But that's where we are at the moment with this Model T Ford truck, and we'll get this out, and I'll see you on the next one. So take it easy out there, and if you're over there in the USA, I hope you're not getting too badly affected by either the super heat or the super cold that you're getting. So take it easy, my friends, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.